this reward encounter. Why the heck does it take 65 balls to catch a freaking Nidorina in GBL? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Ox here with another video. If you're new to the channel, we do upload Pokemon Go content mostly related to PvP, and if you're a returning subscriber like Mike Jardine, thank you for the support. In today's video, we're taking a look at some battles in the Master League Classic featuring the team that I did use to climb to Legend Rank in Season 8. This team consists of a Groudon lead with Dialga and Togekiss in the back. So this team does operate similarly to an ABB style. You have the lead Pokemon, which is very strong against the steel types, and then two Pokemon in the back, which are quite weak to steel, in particular a Melmetal. So what you're looking to do is lure out the potential Melmetal with the Dialga safe switch, at which point the Groudon will be able to come back in, finish off the Melmetal, and the hope is that Togekiss with two shields and its biggest threat in Melmetal gone, being able to sweep the remainder of the team. So with any team, there are going to be some obstacles that you will run into. Double steel in particular, when one of those two steel types is not a Dialga, is going to be very difficult for this team. Something like Melmetal plus Excadrill, for example, is almost an automatic loss. New Pokemon such as Zacian are going to be a bit interesting to deal with, and we'll see how this team performs with the recent shifts in the meta. If you guys enjoy this type of content, please make sure you smash that like button to help the channel grow. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. And without any further ado, let's jump into the first battle right now. Alright, so let's jump into these battles right here. We have a Groudon lead, Dialga and Togekiss in the back. Of course, the Dialga is going to be very important to have as the best buddy to reach those breakpoints for the mirror match. Giratina origin into a Groudon right here. Gonna swap out immediately into the Dialga, looking to lure out the Melmetal. Instead, we get met by a Sylveon. So Sylveon actually isn't the greatest counter for Dialga. Of course, in the two shields, it's going to destroy Dialga with the charm damage, but in the one shields, it's actually winnable for Dialga. So let's see if we're able to take switch right here. The opponent is going to throw a move, so we're going to shield this up. We are going to be able to get to the Iron Head, but they actually get the attack drop, which is a huge break for the opponent, so that means they don't have to shield this next Iron Head, and they're going to be able to win in the one shield. So just an unfortunate break for us there. The opponent keeps their shield as a result, and things are not looking too good. However, the opponent is running double charm, and look at this, they bring in the Togekiss into our Groudon. So of course we are going to stay in this match. We're just going to do as much fire punch damage as we possibly can, get the opposing Togekiss into a range where we could come in, farm down with our own Togekiss, and then Togekiss against Giratina origin, very strong match. So going for another fire punch right here, and the opponent letting these go through, so I'm going to look to snipe them at any point right here. Here it comes, charm coming through, and now it is GG's. Opponent doesn't want the smoke. We are off to a 1-0 start in this set. Hopping into the second battle, and we're going to be leading Groudon into a Togekiss. So pretty rough lead right here, and typically in this case I will swap out into Dialga. We get met by a Rhyperior, which is one of the hardest counters for Dialga right here. So we will get a shield, but likely to get farmed down completely. And at this point we have to start thinking about the Groudon matchup. If they're running Superpower, we're in a decent spot, but if they're running Surf, it's going to get a little bit problematic, because Superpower means we will be able to farm down at some point with just straight Mud Shot, whereas if they're running Surf, it's not going to lower their own defense or attack, and we're going to get into a bit of trouble. Thankfully, it is Superpower, so we let both of these go through. Going to try and commit to the complete farm down here with Mud Shot, and we are able to do it. We're loaded on energy, we have a shield advantage, swap out into the Togekiss, and it's a Melmetal in the back. I was considering just leaving the match here, but I said, you know what, let's just shield up the first one, go for the ancient power, maybe we get the shield and the boost, and then there might be some plays. So building up, I mean we're not the flamethrower, but I'm hoping they shield this up, and thankfully they do, but we get the boost as well. So I got a little bit of hope at this point, thinking maybe we can win this. I know we'll be able to survive one rock slide at this point. The question now becomes, will I be able to farm down? Probably not, so I have to probably swap out into my Groudon at some point, look to snipe them with the Fire Punch, which we're able to do. So all we have to do now is get this Togekiss low enough to the point where we could actually win the mirror, but they are extremely healthy. So I'm hoping I can get off 2 Fire Punches right here and maybe put it in flamethrower range. We don't get to that next Fire Punch, which is a bit unfortunate. I actually go for the Ancient Power here, thinking I needed the boost in order to win this game. In hindsight, going for the flamethrower maybe might have been enough. I still think we would have fallen a little bit short, but going flamethrower there, if it was enough to KO, definitely was the play. If it wasn't, then going for the ancient power boost was the correct call. Either way, we lose that game, but we were obviously in a very difficult spot there. Fortunate enough to get the boost on the Togekiss to make that game close, but still end up losing that game. So we get Groudon here into Dialga. Opponent swaps out into a Shadow Mewtwo, so probably going to look to shield up the first move because this is going to hurt coming from a Shadow, and go for the Fire Punch. Now because they are a Shadow Mewtwo, Fire Punch still hurts, so they're probably going to shield this up, which they do. Now I swap out into Dialga. They're likely going to this is only going to be a side strike, so I'm not going to shield this up right here, but they're likely going to get to a second move, and there it is. So gonna have to shield up at this point if we want to keep switch, which we do, and I'm hoping I could farm down before they get to another one. We are able to do that, so we're low on energy. They come back in with the Dialga. Probably can't get to 2 Iron Heads, so I think going for the Draco Meteor is the correct call right here. Could have probably thrown a bit more Dragon Breaths just to get some more Dragon Breath damage without debuffing ourselves, but it is what it is. Going to come back in here with the Groudon. I'm hoping I can get to this Earthquake first. They might have been going for the Draco Meteor right there, but we get to the Earthquake, so that means this is going to knock them out. Bang! There it is. Dialga gets taken out. Groudon comes back in. At this point, it's pretty much a GG. So gonna throw the Earthquake. Actually, I say come back in. We didn't see the Groudon until now. It's a Groudon in the back, basically is what I'm saying. We land the Earthquake. I'm staying in here to force them to dump energy, get them low enough to the point where the Togekiss could come in and finish this off. Obviously, Togekiss in a good spot there either way, but I think the safer play is staying with the Groudon, getting that chip damage off, and leaving the rest for Togekiss to clean up in the back. Hopping into the next battle right here, we have a Groudon into a Zacian. So Zacian, depending on the moveset, could be a bit tricky for this team, but of course it can't cover all 3 of them, right? So actually I guess it can, close combat plus wild charge, but a lot of them are running play rough. This one is running play rough. They swap out into Yveltal. You'll love to see it. Togekiss coming in here, basically doesn't need to shield anything, going to be loaded on energy here, and this is a really nice spot to be in. Oftentimes when I see teams like this, Yveltal safe switch, they have a second flying type like a Lugia in the back. They're looking to start out the Melmetal the same way my own team is looking to start out Melmetal. And in this case, it looks like neither of us have a Melmetal, so it's going to be an interesting matchup right here. Going for the Flamethrower does a decent chunk to the Zacian. They can't really farm us down, so they're going to be forced to throw energy right here. I'm not going to shield this up, hoping it's a crunch, but it is in fact, or a close combat rather. Actually, it doesn't even make sense. I'm thinking of Zamazenta right now. But either way, they come in here with a Lugia. So I'm going to swap out into the Dialga. And at this point, we should be okay here. Going to go for the Iron Head. We still have 2 shields and Dialga. I mean, it's a very close match because we did get that Fire Punch damage off. The chip damage is very nice for this position right here. I'm going to shield up the first move in case it is an Aeroblast. They do bait with the Sky attack, so that's not great. Going to go for the Iron Head right here. And if they shield this up, which they do, I'm actually going to let the next move go through here, because I think at this point, we're in the range where Groudon with a shield and 2 Fire Punches should be able to take this game. So I'm going to let this move go through here once again. Don't want to shield the Dialga. Come in with the Groudon, build up to 2 Fire Punches, and this one will be enough to take out the Lugia. We still have the shield in case that Zacian has a close combat ready to go, but in this case they do not. So Fire Punch will be enough to take them out right here and take this game off to a 3-1 start in this first set of the Master League Classic. Hopping into battle number 5, and we are knocking on the door of 2900. Definitely might get there if we win this game right here. We got Groudon into Landorus. Landorus pretty difficult for this team, so not the type of lead you want to see. Gonna build up to 2 Fire Punches here and throw the first one. Probably makes more sense to let the opponent throw first in case they do go for Superpower, but it is what it is. Gonna throw the second one. Actually ends up being CMP ties, so actually fortunate this turned out the way it did, because I would not want to throw this before the opponent threw their Superpower. This Fire Punch is going to hurt, so the shield does come up from the opponent. We sneak in the extra Mud Shot, which is huge there, because at this point we should be able to actually outpace them to the final Fire Punch to win this game in the 2 shields, for example. So Fire Punch comes through, they are going to shield that up, and you love to see it. Some beautiful lag right there. They get about 5 Mud Shots in probably, and we still catch the Superpower despite that lag. You love to see it, but that kind of got me tilted right there, and it kind of affected the rest of the game. So Mamoswine here, obviously in a good position. Gonna go for the Avalanche. That takes us out. I didn't want to shield there because I figured they had 2 moves ready to go. Gonna come in here with the Dialga. Now, if I actually got that energy from the lag, I could have thrown a Fire Punch here, but because we lagged, not able to do it, and that sets up this. I no-shield the Bulldoze, which was a huge mistake right there, and that almost takes us out. And then they're going to come in with a Dialga. I should have swapped immediately. I don't. I let myself get farmed down. So another mistake right there. Just completely throwing this game. They catch the Earthquake. So the opponent put on a masterclass right here. Oh my gosh. I was tilted out of my mind after this. Didn't even throw the bubbles. We're going to lose this game. Go 3-2. And unfortunately, that lag should have been a signal to stop. But I didn't. And things just got worse from there. So I didn't include it in this video, but I'll definitely talk about it. We tanked pretty hard from this point. So after that set, we got to 28-75. I went 0-5 in the next set, and in large part it was due to lag. I lost 2 games completely as a result of lag. The other 3 were misplays, plus just getting outplayed. So best case scenario, probably 3-2 or 2-3 in that set, but I tilted. I lost 92 points for an 0-5, put us back in the 2700s. I decided to call it quits right there. And then we came back here for this set later in the day, trying to win ourselves back some points, running the same team again. Let's see how it goes. So Lugia into Groudon, horrible lead of course. So instead of switching out into Dialga, I actually came into Togekiss, and when they threw the move there, it tells me they do not have a Melmetal. So instead they come in with Kyogre, which is also a bit problematic for Togekiss, as you could see, but I sneak in the extra charm right there. And basically what that tells me is I could win this by shielding and farming down. Now we're going to be down 2 shields, which is pretty awful, but I cannot afford to have Groudon locked onto that Lugia, so I pretty much had no choice there, just had to gamble it, and we're doing that. So go for the Ancient Power right here. They're going to throw a move here because they can't really farm us down with Dragon Tail. This will take out the Togekiss, at which point we're going to come back in with the Dialga. So Dialga comes in here, it's a Groudon in the back. Things are looking horrible. Down 2 shields right here. Gonna throw the Iron Head at this Groudon here. Definitely going to get 1 shield. And then swap out into our own Groudon. Now, we will be able to survive 1 Earthquake from this range. They are running Dragon Tail, so it's going to put us very low. And at this point, our only win condition is to land this Earthquake pretty much. So I go for the Earthquake here, totally expecting a shield to come up. They let it go through. And I don't know if that was BM or if they just thought Lugia with a shield could win this, but there is a win con now, and basically it requires farming down this Lugia before the Aeroblast, and we do it. So I don't know what the heck happened there, but we take that game. We take those all day. That was insane. The no shield definitely probably should have shielded there, but we're gonna take that. Groudon into Garchomp. This was a set of really bad leads right here. We swap out into Dialga, and there is the Melmetal. So we finally lure it out. And usually I'm not going to shield here because there's really no point. I'm just looking to lose switch. But the opponent goes for Rock Slide. So I'm like, alright, well, I'll take that. Going for the Iron Head right here. Now, if I had Thunder, this would be an even more, well, not dominant. It's actually still a losing match. But if I had Thunder, we'd be in a better spot here than we currently are. I decide to shield now because I'm like, you know what? Even if I have to use 2 shields, Togekiss needs 0 shields for Garchomp. So as long as I win alignment, we could be okay here. I decided to let that one go through there, hoping that they wouldn't shield this one, and we take it in the 1-0, and they let it go through. So that's huge for us. Garchomp comes back in, gets some nice farm, but we have the best answer you could possibly get for this. In the back, Togekiss coming in. Probably gonna get hit here. Preferably they don't have Sandtoon, but unfortunately they do. So Sandtoon comes through, Togekiss comes in, I swap out into Groudon. This is not a great match, but as we've seen in previous battles, Fire Punch does still add up. So the most important thing here is to get this Togekiss low enough to the point where our own Togekiss will be able to farm it down. So I'm building up here, just gonna spam these Fire Punches, save the shield for the Togekiss in the back. You can see the opponent realizes what is happening right here. They need to start shielding these Fire Punches. So another one coming through gets the 2nd shield. They'll probably farm us down, not able to get to the last one, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Togekiss comes back in. I'm going to look to actually shield this up right here, and I'm hoping that that Garchomp is not able to get to a Sandtomb. Thankfully, they're running Dragon Tail, so they're not able to get to it. Togekiss comes back in. We have an HP advantage, so I'm going for the Ancient Power right here. Even a Flamethrower will not KO from this range, so this game is pretty much over. We came back from a pretty tough spot there, Melmetal on Dialga, but the Rock Slide bait ended up working in our favor. We take that game. We're off to a 2-0 start, trying to climb back up onto the leaderboard after getting knocked off there from that 0-5 set. Groudon into Groudon right here, and we are both running Mud Shot. Not sure if the opponent desynced there. It looks like I might actually be ahead by 1 Mud Shot, but we're going to shield up here, I believe. Yes, we do. We get baited. Unfortunate, and it is CMP ties, so I'm expecting a shield here. I think they know it's an Earthquake. They do, so not looking too great right here. Going to build up to Earthquake again, and this time, are we going to shield up? I am going to shield calling the Earthquake, so we're down both shields. I'm going to bait with the Fire Punch right here. We really need the shield, and they don't shield. Absolutely insane. Going for the Earthquake. At this point, I'm hoping they don't shield again, thinking it's another Fire Punch, but they do. So tough spot. I try to call the Earthquake here onto the Togekiss. Looks like we missed it, so likely going to be a Fire Punch, but we'll take that. Fire Punch coming through. They swap out into Dialga, so not looking too great at this point. They will get to an Iron Head first. This will basically take out the Togekiss from this range. And now we have a decision to make. Probably going to come back in with the Groudon and hope I could get to this Earthquake before they get to a move. And thankfully for us, we do get to the Earthquake. So that means that the Dialga is going to be taken out right here. Bang! There it is, Dialga. Go to sleep. Lugia in the back. They have an energy lead. I swap out into Dialga. Things are not looking too great right here, but I have a plan in mind. So the Lugia going to throw a move, and I'm expecting them to swap out at any moment. So I have the trigger ready on the Iron Head. I need to take out this Groudon right here. We take it out. And remember, we stored a Fire Punch on that Groudon before exiting. So as long as I get off this Iron Head right here, it should be enough to put it in Fire Punch range with the extra Dragon Breaths. We win CMP against the Lugia. Fire Punch, if this is enough to take it out, is going to be enough to win this game. Yes, it is. We take that game. Absolute insane right there, coming back from another very difficult lead. Happy to take that one. We got Reezy in the next battle. Shout out to Reezy. He is a Twitch streamer. Very good battler. We got Groudon into Giratina. So typically when I see Giratina altered, I'm thinking Kyogre plus Dialga in the back. So what I decided to do here is actually stay in with Groudon, throw the Earthquake. And if they shield this, it's possible that they actually do not have that line. When they shield here, I figure the chances are they probably are afraid of Groudon in the back. So I'm going to swap out into the Togekiss instead of Dialga. We lure out the Melmetal. Now, luring out the Melmetal here with the Togekiss, I make a big mistake right here because we got a shield already. This is actually a really difficult team to beat, but the biggest mistake I make right here is shielding, thinking this is the Dialga matchup, because when I shield here, I open up the possibility, of course I'm going to get the second shield, but they're going to just farm us down with Thunder Shock, and they are not debuffing themselves at all. So they get so much farm here, and then the Superpowers have not been debuffed. So Groudon's going to take heavy damage right here, and we put ourselves in a really difficult spot. Now, if it was Dialga, of course, they have to debuff themselves to take us out with the Superpower. You don't have to worry about shielding. But in this case, I put myself in a really difficult spot. I should never have shielded the Togekiss right there. It is what it is, but as it turns out, they end up having double steal in the back anyways, so probably was going to be a loss regardless there, but we definitely would have been in a better position if we saved that shield, because if we were able to get to this Draco meter right here, maybe, assuming we could have shielded that drill run and got to Draco meter before the next drill run, which I'm not sure we could have, but if we were able to, we would have had a lot of health on the Dialga still, could have potentially taken out this Giratina and won this game despite it being double steal in the back, but we made a couple of misplays there. Reezy played it very well, and we're going to take this loss right here. So GG's to Reezy. Definitely check him out on Twitch. I'm guessing the name is probably the same. R stands for Reezy. Maybe I'm wrong, but if he's in the comments, he'll let you all know. We got Fraggin' Wagon in the next matchup. We are currently 3-1. Looking for that 4-1, but we got one of the worst leads you could see with the Groudon, swapping out into Togekiss instead of Dialga. And when they stay in this match, there is no reason to throw here if you have a Melmetal. Tells me they probably do not. So I'm pretty happy about that because that means Dialga should be somewhat okay in the back. Of course, there are still other counters, but Melmetal is one of the worst. Excadrill could still be there as well. I would imagine they'd probably swap out here if they had a hard counter to Togekiss. They come in with the Zacian instead. So I'm going to do a lot of damage right here with the charms, throw this ancient power, and they're basically forced to throw a Play Rough or a Wild Charge here. I don't think close combat would KO, and they probably don't want to debuff themselves, so Play Rough makes sense. Gonna come in here with the Groudon. Groudon can tank a close combat here, so going for the Fire Punch. Now Fire Punch is not going to KO from this range, so the opponent lets that go through, and we're gonna get hit here by a close combat. I'm going to no shield the first one, and the opponent is staying in. I'm going to look to farm down, able to do it before they get to the next move. Things are looking okay. Kyogre comes back in. I didn't try to CMP Tyler because Fire Punch wouldn't KO anyways, but I did want to shield this up. You can make the argument that shielding there is incorrect, but in case they have something that beats Dialga, I decided to do it. Farm down, and we have energy ready to go. It's Dialga in the back. At this point, I was kind of kicking myself because they're ahead in energy. All I have to do is get to the Draco meter, and they're going to win this game. So bringing the Dialga here, the writing's on the wall, but they throw early. I'm like, what the heck's going on? They have Thunder. They don't have Draco Meteor. They go for the Iron Head. So they're running Iron Head plus Thunder, which means the Draco Meteor is coming through. And when the Draco Meteor comes through, you know what that means. Bang! There it is. Draco to the face. Dialga, you gotta run the Draco Meteor, I guess, in situations like that. That's why I switched from Thunder myself. We take that game, we go 4-1, but there is another topic at hand right here, and it's all about this reward encounter. Why the heck does it take 65 balls to catch a freaking Nidorina in GBL? There are so many ways to fix this issue, Niantic, so many ways, but they don't want to do it. They want their money, make us waste all our damn balls on a stupid Nidorina. Azelf, don't even get me started on Azelf, way worse, but we go 4-1, we are back on the leaderboard. Let's keep the climb going. So after that set, I did get another 4-1, which brought us up to our season high of 2886. We managed to pull out a positive set despite that 3-8 start after the 0-5. Got into the 2700s, climbed back up with this team, getting 2 back-to-back 4-1 sets. I think this team still has a lot of play in the Master League Classic meta, and if you have these Pokemon available to you, definitely a team you'd want to consider trying out. I also have some other videos featuring the team on the channel. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.